Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing really good today. Thanks for joining me on another video here on Navisim 101. And what we're going to be doing today is just carrying out the third part in the series of looking at this fantastic helicopter, the Airbus H145 by Hype Performance Group. Okay, so if you haven't yet seen the first two videos, then just head on back into the channel after the video if you want to, and just click on the link in the description and you can just watch those two. Okay, so the last video was a complete tutorial of the Helionix system you see there right in front of you. So yeah, that really will enhance your knowledge of this great helicopter. Okay, so with this video we're going to be taking it for a flight, okay, doing a engine startup, and then we'll be taking it for a flight around and about here in Monaco, and we're going to land at a really small helipad just over by the end of the pier, and then we're going to head on down to Nice. All right, land at the airport, and then we'll head back, all right, to Monac Air. All right, cool. Now the thing I want to mention is that on the previous two videos, the version of the H145 that I was using was version 232, which was the stable version, okay? But this, and I've just downloaded it today, is the development version 283, okay? So I've only just discovered that they've actually got a dev version out. So yeah, I went along back to the downloads page and downloaded it. Now it's not actually on the downloads page that you can see on the HPG website. You won't find it there. It's if you've purchased the helicopter, then the link that they've actually sent you in your email, when you click that link to re-download or to download the product, then that's where you're going to actually get the downloads from. Okay, so just thought I'd let you know that. Right, so yeah, this is the dev version. Okay, now some of the updates, the improvements that I can see is actually immediately noticeable. So if I go to settings, for example, okay, now you can see that they've got this, a pictorial diagram of the helicopter, okay, and you can see here that my door is open. That's why it's blue, and you can actually open up the co-pilot door, and of course that one there. Let's have a look. Do that again. Okay, so that's for that. Let's put this window down. Okay, and if you have a look, you can actually see passengers around there. So you've got a lady sitting down there, and I can't turn my neck anymore, but there's a gentleman, two gentlemen just sitting alongside her, as you can see here. Okay, so you can actually turn that on and put them there or take them out if you so want to. All right, cool. And you can open up the rear doors. Okay, so from here as well. Okay, let's have a look. Open that one. There you go. All right, and also you can actually put away the ground equipment, okay, and bring it back again. All right, so that's a nice improvement, isn't it? Okay, cool. So let's just close that. No, let me click again. All right, and we'll close up this side door. All right, cool, and that one as well. Let's click again. All right, that's gone, and yeah, it does take some time to close. All right, cool. And if we have a look here, you can see that the equipment now is no longer a list, but once again, it's a diagram where you can actually click things on and off. All right, so I think that's really neat. Let's go to options. All right, so and here they've actually spread it out a bit as opposed to just having a list down there. And setup, And let's have a look. Still got the same options down here. And you can see here the version build is 283. That's the dev version. Okay, so yeah, so I think it's a great improvement. So I don't know what else has been improved. Okay, so let me just go back there. Okay, now the other thing I want to show you is this. Okay, so this is the EFB Connect app. All right, so basically on the downloads page you can actually download the EFB Connect app, and basically what it does, it just allows you to go on the internet with your iPad. Okay, so what it will do, the EFB will actually open up its own little web browser, and this is actually mirroring what's in the web browser. Okay, so because I'm in VR at the moment, guys, so if you haven't guessed, there we go. So there's the VR. Okay, the VR hand controllers. Okay, we'll put them out of the way. Okay, so yeah, and basically you got a measure of control on this here. So just go into, there you go, some part of the world. Okay, and yeah. All right, so yeah, obviously you can go to other websites like SkyVector and other websites here right on your iPad. So it's a nice little feature that's been added to the iPad. All right, cool. All right, so right, so what we're going to do now is an engine start. Okay, so now what I want to explain to you is about the collective. Okay, now as you can see from my collective, see if you have a look, you can see that I've got the Thrustmaster Hotas Warthog, okay, and also the Cyclic as well. Now I've actually got mine pushed full forward. Okay, now obviously in a fixed wing that is full MCP, that's maximum control, MCT, maximum control thrust. Okay, but in a helicopter it's more realistic to actually have it like this. So if you have a look, when I'm pulling back, you can see the collective is actually going up, and I push forward and it goes down. Okay, so the way you do that is by going to the controller options and going to your controller, okay, and going to the power management and then clicking on throttle, and you can see a little reverser checkbox. Just uncheck that and it will actually reverse the operation of the controller. Okay, so it does take some getting used to, because obviously we're used to full forward being more power, pulling back being less power, but in a helicopter now you've got to try and think in the reverse principle. Forward is less, pull back is more. Okay, cool. All right, and the cyclic, just use default settings. Okay, there's no special thing with this. Okay, default sensitivities, and yeah, that should work all right. Right, the other thing I need to show you actually is this, before I forget. So let's go to documents and go to user guide. Okay, and let's skip along to page 18. Right, so you've got this Airland simulations. Okay, so this is in the manual. All right, and what this is basically is a standalone file, so you'd have to download it, and you don't have to drop this in the community folder. It's an executable file which will stay on your desktop. Okay, and when you double click on it, it will actually seamlessly integrate with the helicopter. Okay, and on the message list here you'll see FS Airlands. Okay, now what it is, it's a completely alternative flight profile for the helicopter. Okay, it's supposed to be more realistic. Okay, and there is a Discord channel with more information about it. All right, and what you see here all these. This is what you'll see on the program. This is the parameters and all the good stuff that you can actually get from the helicopter. Okay, so just basically information. It doesn't actually do anything for you. It just tells you what the cyclic's doing and what the collective's doing and so on and so forth. Okay, now to operate that, you'd have to make sure the helicopter is actually in this position. Then you double click on it and then it would actually start working from there. My opinion is, well, I've actually tried it and it didn't work for me. All right, some teething issues. So, for example, when the helicopter's in this state, I pulled back on the collective and the thing took off and crashed. Okay, and when I finally did actually get some kind of operation on it, then when I actually started to fly the helicopter, it was really, really unstable for me. Okay, so it might work for you. I don't know. You just have to try it. But it's not necessary. It's not something you need to actually fly the helicopter. I find that the high performance group's default H145 profile is adequate. It works fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Okay, and to me it just feels realistic. I'm not a helicopter pilot, but it just feels realistic and similar to what I've seen on many helicopter videos and how the helicopter is being controlled. Okay, so but you can try that. If it works for you, then great. All right, so let's go for an engine startup now, shall we? Okay, so before startup, always make sure the collective is in the down position. All right, you will get an alarm if it's not. Okay, so we go up to the overhead panel. Just make sure that the bus ties and the gen switches are in the correct positions. All right, and moving over here, we go to the battery. All right, now it's got 3 positions on this, so do make sure that the switch goes into the engaged position. You can see there, because if you don't, you won't get all the circuits turned on. And you can see it springs back there. All right, there we are. Let's put that away. Okay, so there we are. Now there is a 20-second power up test, and you can see the helicopter immediately senses when EPU is connected and the door is opened. All right, so we just press the acknowledgement button there. Okay, good. So what we want to do now is do some fire alarm tests. So we'll skip the hydraulics for the minute and we go to the fire alarm test and just pull that down to 1.
Fire. Engine 1 fire.
Check the extinguisher bottle indicators there, fire, and also down here as well on the message list, engine 1 fire, fire bottle 1 and 2 test. Good. Acknowledge and go back up, switch that off, and we'll run circuit number 2.
Fire. Engine 2 fire.
And on this side, engine 2, extinguisher, bottle 1, bottle 2, fire, and engine 2 fire. Cool. Alright, that's done. Let's switch that off. Okay, a bit noisy, isn't it? And lamp.
Audio test.
Okay, so you can see also light comes on there. Just checking the lamps across here. Okay, good time to actually look and see what these what the warning bar indicates. Okay, and yeah, everything looks good. Training module, so I'm not sure if that works actually. Yeah. All right, so move that back up. Okay, and skip past this one, we don't need that, and move along to, actually no, do you know what, what we can do actually is go straight down here. So let's go straight to the num soft key. Now if you haven't seen the last video, all these are soft keys, okay, and when there's a label attached to the soft key, then it means there's a function behind it. So click on that, and what it will do is bring up the values here under the engine oil, main gearbox oil, and also what we're interested in really is the battery power. Now this helicopter does drain the battery very quickly, so very soon you're going to get a battery discharging message there. And just have a look at the amps. Okay, now I've noticed now the amps, as opposed to saying 41 amps, it's saying 50 amps, so that's an adjustment there on the dev version. Okay, cool. Alright, so that's done. Just click that off, and now we go down to weight computation. Alright, so to operate that, we got here val. Click on the soft key and it highlights the values there, and if you press the inner rotary dial, just click on it and it brings it down one step, and now we can adjust those values. So let's take my weight down, not that heavy, and make it about 175. Click on it again. Alright, that brings it down to total fuel, and now you can see here we've got supply tanks and the main tank. We can actually use the outer dial to increase the fuel. So we're not going very far, and I think that'll be adequate for our needs today. Okay, and just click on that again, just to deselect it. Okay, so you can see our total fuel there. All right, after that we move across to the baro. Just check that 10113 pressure, and check that on the standby and also over here as well. That's good. If you want to adjust the baro, then once again click on the soft key, and then you can use the inner and outer rotary dial to adjust the value. Alright, cool. And just run through the message list, see what you got there. Do bear in mind you've got the EPU connected as it shows right there. Okay, cool. Power up test is okay. And so we go back up to here, switch on the anti-collision light, and now what we should be doing is switching on the prime pumps. Okay, but I'm not going to do that just yet. We're going to go for the engine start, but I want to show you what happens when we don't actually switch the prime pumps on. Okay, so we'll just check around, make sure it's all clear, and it is, and we go for the engine start. So we're going to flick just one notch up to idle. Okay, and you can see you've got start there, we got starter just down here, and you've got the rotor arms rotating, right, and watching the N1. Starter is still there, and looking at the oil temperature as well. Right, now that's a change. That's an immediate change, because on the last version it didn't actually start with the engine, with the fuel pumps, with the pumps off. So that is almost like it's gone down a bit, like a degrade, because it shouldn't have actually gone. The other one, the version 2.232 actually went to 49%, and then it wouldn't actually go any higher, but this has gone now to 74.1. Alright, okay, I don't know how the real helicopter operates, but there we go. Right, so now you got generator 1 is online. Okay, and let's start up engine number 2 and start, and I just heard the engines going down a bit just there. Starter, engine number 2, watching the torque, turbine output temperature, and N1's there, engine oil. Got generator 2 online. And that's gone to idle. Cool. Right. Okay. So engines are up and idling nicely. So let's go back up to our overhead, and we're going to test the hydraulics. So we'll push that up and just have a look at the hydraulics. There you go. And we've got low pressure hydraulic 2. That's good. Let's acknowledge that. And then we'll test hydraulic number 2, which tests hydraulic number 1. It's a strange concept, but now this time you've got TR shut off as well. Low pressure should have been there, and you've got this there. Okay, acknowledge that, and you should actually have low pressure. There we go, hydraulic 1 low pressure. Cool. Generator 2 is now online. Okay, so while we're here, we can actually just get rid of the ground power unit like so. Alright, cool. And that's gone. Alright, excellent. So good, so that's done. Alright, so what we can do now is basically go back up to our overhead panel. So what we want to do now basically is turn off the prime pumps and switch on the fuel transfer pumps. Okay, because what that will do, that will actually transfer fuel from the main tanks to the supply tank. Alright, good. Now just running through these switches, we'll put that back, and they're okay, that's okay. Turn on our standby. Okay, now Avionics Master 1 is connected to GTN 750 co-pilot side. Okay, so that switches that on. It's also connected to the AFCS, the automatic flight control system. Okay, so without this switched on, you won't get that working. And moving across here, emergency floats are armed, don't need to worry about this. Make sure you switch onto LAVS, which is the light aircraft automatic vibration control system. If you don't, then you will actually see LAVS in a white text on here. So just move it there and then move it back up to where it says PIL. Okay, air conditioning as desired, and co-pilot and pilots, switch that on. Inlet barrier filter, I did actually go through this on my on the previous tutorial, systems tutorial, so if you want to know how these work, then do have a look back on that, but just leave those switches where they are. So we've done this, okay, and we've got position lights. We'll leave the strobes and landing light off and put this to on. Alright, cool. And one of the last things that we do actually is we go to a pre-flight check. So we'll flick that up to pre-flight, just there, and now you got this pre-flight test. Right, so just leave everything the way it is, don't touch anything, and just wait for this to actually complete its test. Pre-flight test, okay, cool. And we'll just switch that back. Alright, that is it, guys. That's the engine startup, and finally all we do is flip this to, well, actually, do you know what, before we do that, we've got the AFCS. So what we need to do is switch that on, all three buttons here. Okay, this will disappear, and then we can just switch it back off. Okay, and the messages there, and we'll just switch it back on again. Right, cool. And you notice here it's got a message, right? So if you go down to your GTN, you'll see there's a message there. Okay, so you can see how it interweaves with the GTN 750. Alright, cool. So that's it, and the last thing, we'll put this to flight and we'll latch it underneath. And just notice the difference in the torque. And notice the first level indicator. It's going up as well, showing the total power output. Alright. And what I'm going to do actually is just transfer this screen over to the co-pilot side. Put that there. And then we'll get the digital map displayed up for us. Okay. Take off the height awareness. And yeah. That's it. Cool. So guys, that is the engine startup, and I'm just going to actually do this before I forget and show you this. So this helicopter, like a fixed wing aircraft, does have a trimming system. Okay, they call it beep trim. Alright, so I've got mine set up to the hat switch that I'm using. So right here. Okay, so if you have a look at the screen there, if I go up, down, right, left, and basically that just trims the helicopter. Alright, cool. So that's it. Alright guys, so let's take this thing up, shall we? So now, just having a look at the rotor blades, you can see that they are spinning one way, which means that when the helicopter becomes light on its feet, then it's going to spin the other way. Well, not spin, but it's going to try and turn the other way. So what we need to do is just counteract that just by giving it a little bit of left rudder, okay, just to stop that rightward turn. Okay, so the other thing I need to tell you is this. Okay, so this is your FLI, your first level indicator. Okay, and basically what this does is just measures the overall output on the engines. Okay, so basically it combines everything you're putting into the engines, and when I actually raise the collective, you can see that it's just showing me the degree at which I'm actually raising that up. Okay, so around about 4.5, the helicopter will actually start to lift. Okay, so basically you can see what I'm doing with the collective by just monitoring that as we fly. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's just check the area. Good, no one's around. And just start to lift the collective, giving it that left rudder, and now you can see there it wants to turn because it's just really light on its feet, ready to take off. So we'll just lift it a bit more, and there we go. Okay, and it's going to start to float away from you basically. So now you're going to have to control the helicopter, giving it small control inputs. Okay, and yeah, it will just float like this, nice and easy. Okay, try not to overcorrect. If you the helicopter may have a tendency to just swing and start swinging from left to right like a pendulum. So try not to overcorrect, otherwise that will just exacerbate the situation, just make it gradually worse. Okay, so you can see here that 4.5 is quite adequate, really, just to give you a nice hover, really. So I'll just turn around, back should be cleared. Now rudder pedal movement, normally when you're at low speed. That'll be the time to use the rudder pedals. Okay, when you're at speed, then literally just roll the aircraft and it turns. For tighter turns, obviously you can just pull up on the cyclic. Okay, so there we are. We're in a nice steady hover. Now this profile from High Performance Group, you know, it's not a walk in the park. You know, it's not like a drone. It doesn't make it really easy to fly. You really do have to practice to get it right. Okay, so let's go, guys, and let's go and see Monaco. So if you have a look at the FLI, you can see there that it's showing me my power output. Okay, and I could actually pull up some more, and if I did go over, then it would actually just sound a bell and just let me know, hey, too much. I'm just looking for the King's Palace. Actually, it's right here somewhere. Or the Prince, actually, the Prince's Palace. Notice that sound from the helicopter. That's new on the development version. And there's Monaco beneath us. Look at that, really nice, isn't it? So I'm flying in VR, which is for me, it's just, if you got the equipment, really is the only way to fly this helicopter. Some lovely Monaco roads just down there, Monaco motorways, weaving in and out of the hills. But the helicopter really does fly really well, climbs nicely. If you have a look at the VMS there, you can see I'm just on the border of being warned. Now I am being warned. As we pull up, but it climbs with ease, absolutely no problem. And this is the best part. Wait for it, guys. Look at that. Wow, amazing. Now you can see on the FLI I've got red telling me, hey, get down a bit. And you've got the other side of the motorway coming out the hills. .143 nautical miles an hour is the max for this helicopter. Anything above that, it will start to warn you. So I'm just going to lower the collective now and start our descent. Look at that beach. Didn't know there was a nice white sanded beach around here. I've been to Monaco a few times, and they've just had the Formula 1 Grand Prix a couple of weekends ago, about a week and a half ago now. So as we drop the collective, just pulling up a little bit, just so we don't overspeed. See, we're down to 1.5. It's pulling up. Hope everyone in the back is okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to push this, collapse this thing here. I need it up. And there you go. So the helicopter is really responsive to the controls. I don't have any fancy settings, like I said before. It's just straight straightforward sensitivities, nothing, no adjustments made or anything like that. And if you have a look down there, we can see the wind indicator right in front of us. Headwind. So the scenery is default Monaco scenery. Okay, so I did actually try to look for even better scenery from flightsim.to, but there isn't any actually. There's a couple, but when I actually uploaded it, the buildings were really shabby, and I really don't know how those sceneries got past the quality checks. They just weren't cutting it really, for me anyway. VR does drain your system a bit. I'm using the Quest 2, and it's via what you call virtual desktop, so it's all wireless. Okay, so imagine the computer having to push all these graphics to the VR headset. It's a tall order, isn't it? And I've had to turn the settings down on this, just to try and get reasonable footage, video footage. Right, so there's a helipad just down there, just there to my 11 o'clock. So I'm going to try and land on that. Just there. See at the end of the pier. So I need to just bring it down to a good level and reducing the speed a bit. The visuals in the VR is inherently poor. I'll tell you that now. It's really not good. What you're seeing actually is much more quality than I am. But you know, it's the trade-off with VR. And I'd rather have that trade-off, to be honest with you, because the VR experience is absolutely brilliant. Right, so there's the helipad, and I'm going to actually land on that, or try to at least. Now there is an updraft that I'm going to experience. But just approach slowly really, and you can see that the FLI is on 4 and the helicopter is still descending. It's pulling up a bit. Now the helipad landing area is not as small as you think. You know, when we get down there, you'll see how big it is. So you know, there's no problem just stopping and lining up yourself, just having a look at your intended approach and just taking it nice and slowly really. Pulling back. 100 feet. You just get ready for that updraft which is going to come. Funny enough, I didn't actually experience it with the 232 version. It will try and roll you about. There's an air cushion which you've got to deal with. There it is. Just let it down, really. There you go. Alright, so like I said, you know, this profile is good. It's not a walk in the park. It's not easy, and I think they High Performance Group, you know, while they'll make improvements to it, I feel personally it's a really good profile, and it's stable as well. Alright guys, so what we're going to do now is just show you some of the autopilot features of the helicopter. Okay, so we're looking in particular at the AFCS, alright, which is this panel right down here. Okay, so actually, do you know what we're going to do before that? Because we're going to take a little flight to Nice, just going to set up the simple flight plan. Alright, so go to nearest airport and just wait till Nice comes up. Okay, Lima Foxtrot Mike November, and we just make sure it says Nice. Yeah, and click direct to. Alright, and there you go. So it's a simple flight plan, nothing fancy. And we'll just zoom out there just to see the whole flight plan. Okay, cool. So there we are. So it's about 9 nautical miles out, and you can see the flight plan is drawn on the digital map. Okay, cool. Now what we would normally do is press the couple, so we can couple the Helionix with the GTN 750, but because we're still on the ground, you can see there it's got it in standby. If we try and couple, it won't do it. Alright, so once we've lifted off the ground, then we can actually just couple that. Okay, cool. So now what I'm going to show you is the ability for this helicopter to hover, okay, all on its own. Alright, now if you have a look at the iPad, you can see there's quite a few buttons just behind this text here. Alright, so once again, that's going to come alive once we leave the ground, so it's going to be a bit tricky. I'm going to have to switch my hands over to try and press the GTC H button. I really should have actually put a binder on that, really. I've got so many buttons here that I should have actually just binded one of the buttons, but hey ho, can't do that right now. Right, so let's do this, shall we? So a little bit of left rudder as usual, and then we're going to just pull back, looking at for about 4.5, so it starts to get light on its feet. And okay, so now we're off the ground and go to the GTCH, and there we go, selected. Cool, that was easy. Alright, so you actually can still turn the aircraft whilst in auto or hover flight. Okay, so basically the GPS is actually positioning the aircraft, okay, and what I've got to do now actually is, okay, just go to the outside view. I'll show you that. There you go, and just get on the controller. Look at that. There we are, there's your H145. Looking really nice. Just hovering right on top of the H there. Excellent. Amazing. Imagine like standing here in real life and just seeing the helicopter hover just like that. Alright guys, so let's just get back inside. Alright, cool. So what we're going to do now, and if you have a look at the display, you can see GTCH controlling both the cyclic and the collective as well. Alright, so if you watch this tape here, I'm going to wind up the Alt A, which is this button here. So just wind it up.
Alt A crossing.
Right, so keep winding it up to about 1200 feet. Like so. Okay, and speed as well. It's a speed tape. Go to IAS and just wind that up to say about 130. Alright, got that? Yeah, cool. And really all we've got to do now is just click on the top of this Alt A button. Okay, now watch the collective as we do that. There you go. And the helicopter shoots up. Very cool, isn't it? Look at that. All hands free. You can see the VS there at the side of the altitude tape. We're going up 500, 600. Amazing. Oops, that's a VR glitch. Look at that. And you can see the power output there. It's just on warning. Well, that's the Helionix system powering itself. And if you have a look there, you've got VS and Alt A as well. And just over here you've got Alt, and VS goes away, Alt appears as it appears there as well, 1200, and down here you've got the Alt light. Right, cool. So what we've got to do now is just couple the FMS like so, and click on the top of the IAS button, that indicated airspeed, and off we go. You notice the light comes on there. Cool. And the collective actually automatically sets itself to the position of my collective. Well, at least that's why. I think it does. Yeah, and there we go. Have a look at the speed trend. We are sending through at 90 towards 100, and we're moving away from Monaco, heading towards Nice. Very cool. Helicopter's very quiet as well. It's just a real pleasure to fly this machine. And not quite yet reached 130. Look there, nearly there. Okay, cool. So we've captured the speed. Okay, you've got IAS there in the window. Now, just gonna do something a bit naughty. So let's just move back a bit to check the window open. Yeah. And just get ourselves through the window there. Oops. Hello everyone. Hope you're enjoying the flight. So these are my passengers there. Now guys, we don't normally do this on Navisim one-on-one flight tours, but I'm just going to show YouTube this. You just stay there. You should have your seatbelt on, really, sweetheart. Right, let's go across here and look. Look at this. I'm actually outside. On the side of the helicopter. Crazy. Living life on the edge. Alright, I think that's about enough of that. Close this door. And just get back. Squeeze through this window. And sit back down. Alright, cool. Right, so Nice is coming up. I'm going to take off the auto pilot. Oops, and just close this. Actually, just close this back. Good. Right, so I'm going to avoid this area because it's a low frame rate area. I'm just going to head around the side. I'm not sure why I'm getting low frame rates just at the beginning of the runway there. It goes down to about 22, I think at the moment. I'm sporting about 40, so it's not too bad, but just round by the runway it just goes down. So anyway, let's just take this airspace off the map. Right, so we have another map here. So if I go to navigation map there, take that off, put that on. Okay, and weather. Weather is not on. There we go. So the FMS is now triggered off because we're actually going off course. So just skirting around the side of Nice, and then we'll land on runway 4. Now if you're flying on VATSIM in a helicopter, alright, I know it's tempting to just drop in to the airport, but if it's a towered airport, ATC are on, then do arrange it with the VATSIM controller. You might not appreciate you just dropping in like that. So welcome to Nice, everyone. Right, so that little ding's reminding me again not to overpower the aircraft. Alright, so I'm going to swing around by the runway just here. I do love that sound of the dev version. Alright, so pretty much as if you're in a fixed wing aircraft, just actually head towards the runway. Might start to get some jitters here. So I'm dropping the collective while holding the nose up, but the more slower I get, the more I'm going to be sinking down to the runway, so I'm going to have to pull it back up to about 4 slowly, and then just lower the nose just to keep myself above the runway. And there we are, slowed down. Right, and just turn the helicopter slowly. Right, cool. And just taxi on to our stand. So around about 20 nautical miles per hour, good taxi speed for the helicopter, and that will facilitate any turns we need to do, like this one, quite a steep turn. Sometimes you will have to just roll the helicopter like that slightly, just so you stop this swinging tendency. Alright, so where are we going to put it down? Just feels a bit weird just taxiing in a helicopter. Alright, anyway, we'll do. We're not going to stay here, so we're just going to take off pretty much soon. Alright, so basically getting our speed down and really just pushing very slowly on the collective. I mean, the helicopter will practically just go down itself. You can't see it, but I'm really pushing slowly on that collective. Cool. Alright guys, so we're going to do the last bit for the video, which is head back to base, head back to Monac Air. Alright, so right, cool. So just going to pull back on the collective once again, and a bit of left rudder, and up we go. Alright. Nice. Right, I'm going to ignore the taxiways and just get straight onto the runway. I know no one's around. I've turned off all the traffic just to try and save me some precious frame rates. So using the runway line to take off, and that's what you do if you're on VATSIM. Can you see what I'm saying about the frame rates around about this area of NIce, end of the runway? It's crazy. Should improve actually right about now. Right, okay, so let's dip the nose a bit. I'm on maximum actually, so yeah, I can't go anymore. Just have to dip the nose a bit, only slightly, and give an eye on that altitude, because like I said, the sea does actually, can mislead you a bit, well, especially in the VR headset, as it's not that clear, not as clear as what you're seeing. Right, just gain some altitude. Just make sure I clear that little island there. These guys all right? Yep. Enjoying the ride. There's quite a lot of houses down there, got swimming pools. Very nice. It's quite a nice big house, that one actually, just there. South of France, very nice area of the world. French Riviera, beautiful. Right, just move that collective down a bit. So we're about 140, just approaching maximum speed for the aircraft, 143. If you do go over 143, it will say accident speed, just to warn you before. And very good audio callouts on this aircraft. I don't even think that I've explored all of them, to be honest with you. I think there's quite a few more. See there, you got the radar altitude, 389. Right, so just going to position myself for a landing back at base. And just slowing it down. I have to be coming around the side. Okay, so where are we? 400 feet? Okay. So just slowing it down quite a lot. You can see how much the aircraft is tilting to actually slow down. Look how high we've gone up. Do make sure you put it down when the speed decreases, otherwise you will start to go back. Right, so just using the rudder pedals to turn it around because the speed is low. Okay, and now is the time to actually make our approach. Right, so I'm going to try and go back to where I was. Okay, keeping that speed to about 20, lowering it a bit, and also keeping an eye on the collective as well. Remembering that 4.5 is our kind of like hover sweet spot. Right, a bit too fast, slow it down a bit, otherwise we're going to go past our area. Just going to try and get an outside view for you. Actually, just trying to get an outside view, get into the keyboard. There we are. I think that's about it. Right, okay, let's concentrate on this. Whoops, glitch. Okay, so just line yourself up really for your target area, and obviously we're looking at the H, and we are well below 20. Okay, pulling the nose up, just trying to inch forward, keeping it about 4.5, and remembering that air cushion as well. It's going to try and swing us about, and once again just push very carefully on the collective. And you're going to have to be giving it left rudder as well, pulling up. Oops, bit of glitch. And settling it down nicely. There we are. Cool. Alright, so yeah, that's it. Really, back at base. And I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Yeah, so it was quite a nice little tour around Monaco, Nice, and then back again. So yeah, cool. Right, the only other thing I've got to just do is shut down. So when you land, just let it settle for about 30 seconds. Alright, I think we should have done that. And just uncheck, just take off the latches there and switch it to idle. One notch down. Okay, and once you've done that, then pretty much that's it really. Just let it just settle down a bit more, and then you can go straight down to off. And there we are. Okay, let's just open this door up a bit. Nice. Ooh, hot in here. Alright. That's it. That is it. And pretty much just shutting down. Don't forget you've got a flight report here. Okay, and you can just scroll through that. You've got 4 pages. Alright. So, yeah. Okay, cool. And the overhead panel just basically worked back. One thing I should have done actually is turn off the sorry, not that, it's the transfer pump before switching engines off, but hey ho. Alright. Always learning. Okay, cool. So that's about it, guys, for the video. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button just down below, and also do give us a like as well. It really does help to boost the video on YouTube, and don't forget to click that notification bell as well. Alright, so I really do hope you've enjoyed that. That's the end of the series in looking at the Airbus H145. I've actually bought the Phoenix A320 Airbus, the brilliant Phoenix A320, and also the PMDG 737-700. So I really haven't given those aircraft the time of day while I was focusing on this. this these series of videos. So yeah, I'm going to start doing that now, and more videos to come very soon. Alright guys, you have yourselves a great day until I see you again on the next video. Take care and bye for now.